Christine Lehman from Raz Rides. Today we're being joined by Bill Kemter and Mark Sutton, both of Strata and they're going to be introducing the unveiling of their new branding. Phil?
Thanks very much. Strata started about earlier this year in about February, and I've been in the industry for some years now, 4 or 5 years, and my background in the last 4 or 5 years has been president of Arama, and I've now stepped aside from that activity. But during the process of being in management rights, I saw that there was gaps in the market. We've got some excellent accountants in the industry and lawyers and valuers and so forth. And what I saw was some gaps in technology for the industry. Myself as an operator, I was trying to find people that could supply broadband and various other services for us, and I just couldn't determine or couldn't identify people who I felt comfortable working with. So the idea came along that we would form a technology company, and the genesis of the company was in February this year, where we started Strata Telco. In July this year, I've sold my business, my management rights business, and now working full-time in Strata Telco. But today I'd like to announce the unveiling of a new company. We're changing from Strata Telco, and we're moving to a company called Strata Technologies, or Stratatech will be our branding name.
More befitting, yes.
Yes, and what we're trying to do there is to introduce a whole range of technologies beyond the telephony type systems that we were focusing on earlier this year. And we'll talk more about that, no doubt, during the time of the other discussion this morning.
Thank you. Mark, you come from this, it seems like you're this is hand to glove coming into this industry.
Well, thanks, Christine. I hope so. For the last 35 years, I've worked specifically in technology, focusing on large corporate accounts and business to business, in both substantially reducing their everyday running costs and business expenses, while also assisting them to achieve net profit. So the actual growth, net growth for them is often not only very substantial, but happens very quickly. And so there was a natural fit between our directors contacting me, and I'd been working and consulting with them previously. And here we are, and it's working well already here on the coast and on the Sunshine Coast, and we'll share with you some of those success stories a little bit later.
Fantastic. Okay, between the two of you, it sounds like you're going to make everybody in the body corporate committee and all your owners fall in love with you. You're saving them costs, you're introducing high-speed Wi-Fi. I'm excited to hear more about it. So can you tell us exactly what it is you're offering?
Well, what we're offering is a range of services, but our core functionality is providing a digital platform for buildings. You know, we've realised over a period of time that free Wi-Fi is a very marketable commodity.
Absolutely.
But many buildings just don't have that facility at all. And what we're seeking to do is to try and improve the livability of buildings by introducing a digital platform within the buildings. So we're looking at broadband, and from the backbone of the broadband we can provide a whole range of other services. We can support the provisioning of Foxtel and other IP TV services. We can certainly introduce things like security systems and surveillance monitoring, and of course metering of utilities, water, gas and electricity.
Fantastic.
So all of that's done by the backbone digital platform that we'd like to introduce into buildings. And we do that by working with building managers and the strata communities directly.
Before some managers actually jump the gun and say, forget it, I've tried this before, it won't work for me, can you tell us how easy it is to actually get your product into buildings?
Well, we understand strata communities are very difficult places. There's a lot of competing interest groups within the strata communities. And so our approach initially is to deal with the building manager in the first instance, because we're finding in most buildings that there's a rental pool, and if we can provide these services or benefits to the building manager, we then find that there's natural what we call get well business, or the additional business from dealing with the residents or the owner occupiers at a later stage.
Okay, but say in hardware, I've heard some buildings say, well, we have this the disadvantage of this huge pillar in the middle of the building which does not allow us to get facilities through. Yes. Is that an issue?
Fortunately, the way that in almost every case that we have an opportunity to get around even the most difficult of physical or design and building limitations. The unique nature of what we bring actually and import and manufacture ourselves means that we can actually cut around those problems, which are handled at the moment are caused entirely by reinforcement, large concrete pillars, poor building design, or multiple size or multiple high rises that actually block each other. So Our solution makes that simple and it's incredibly affordable, which means that whether it's down the Tweed, as you and I were discussing, or the high-rise we're looking at Rainbow Beach, or Rainbow Bay, sorry, not Rainbow Beach, or at our test bed platform up at Sand Dunes at Marcoola, we can deliver high-speed Wi-Fi to multiple devices across the building very affordably and make resident managers more net profit and income.
Okay, Mark, you were telling me about how it was such a win-win situation. In other words, you were going to promote to the body corporate committee or to the owners that you were going to save them a ton load when it came to electrical cost, and be able to use that as an enticement to say, well, while we're doing that, let's introduce free Wi-Fi to the building, and one can pay the other off. So can you explain how you go about doing that?
It really depends on and I'm going to hand over to Bill in a moment to flesh that out further from the body corporate and the committee's view. But it's really a matter, each property is going to be individual and tailored to the resident manager and the committee's needs. In some cases that's going to work, in other cases the resident manager and the committees will want to keep that separate. But it does mean that very possibly, and in most cases, the resident manager can make a net income from by replacing the current Wi-Fi solution in the building, which makes someone else money.
Yes.
And at the same time, the body corporate loves what we do in terms of cost and expense reductions, as Bill will explain, because we're literally slashing, in some cases, 30, 40, 50% of their lighting costs, their common area lighting costs, within the first couple of weeks.
So the range
That's
of services,
an amazing savings.
It's amazing savings, and it's real savings too. And it's tangible savings. So let's just talk about the building manager in the first instance that we made. We're talking about providing broadband services initially for the building manager to provide that range of services, provisioning of broadband and potentially Foxtel or other IPTV services to his letting pool, his or her letting pool. In time, we believe that the owner-occupiers and other residents in the building who are outside of his immediate rental pool may also take up the provisioning of those services as well.
Realise the savings.
And the benefits that we do is that we offer basically a no contract solution for those people. So the building manager has a contract with us, of course, but in terms of his clients, they can jump in and out as much as they like, or as quickly as they like. So low cost and high flexibility for whether it's short term or permanent type complexes. In terms of a second division of services that we provide, it's things like lighting and solar. And what we're looking to do is to reduce the energy costs for the building or for the complex. And we do that by way of introducing energy efficient lighting services. We also have solar products and services, things like solar PV cell generation. We have solar air conditioning, which is a new technology that we're able to bring into complexes.
And summer is coming.
And it works at night. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, and we've also got solar pool heating and solar hot water systems. So all of those services that we can introduce as technologies, and we back them. We stick with the client for the period of our serviced agreement with them. So that could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and we'll ensure that these products maintain delivering the savings that we've indicated from the outset that we can provide. So that's the way we go about these things.
Bill, the fact that you come from being the president of Arama and now you're in this particular industry, it just fully endorses the fact that you have extreme belief in this product and this company.
Well, we do, but we want to give back to the industry that's been very supportive of us, and like Raz, Rusty and Mike, who have been terrific people over the years, and continue to be terrific ambassadors for the industry and management rights. Raz, for example, is a major corporate partner of Arama, and similarly, Stratatechnology, or Stratatech as we'd like to call ourselves now, are corporate partners of Arama. So we want to give back to the industry what the industry has given to us. So we're a little unique in terms of the way in which we do our business, because we're not like other suppliers who want to take an income stream and retain it for themselves. We certainly want to give back to the industry and promote the industry and the building managers
passing on the savings all through.
Very much so, yeah.
Okay. Obviously, you've been in the industry or this particular business for how long now?
Well, our partners, I've been in the industry for 4 years as a management right operator, and obviously involved with Arama. My other two partners, the other two directors, Chris Horn has been in the industry for many years as well. He's been a chair of a body corporate, a $1 billion body corporate facility, mixed development in Darwin, and he was also the chair of a building that I managed for the last number of years as well in Tenerife, a Woolstore complex. Our third director, Peter Henderson, has been in technology and the strata industry for the best part of 30 years. So what we bring is not only products and services from other equipment manufacturers and distributors of equipment manufacturers, but we've also got a unique R&D facility inside our company group as well.
Okay.
So we're developing and exploring new technologies all the time, and we're looking to introduce, as a bit of a flash, we hope by mid next year that we can make significant announcements on additional services in the way of telephony that we can bring to the industry as well.
Fantastic. Well, having been in this business for a while now, you must have some success stories or some happy stories to tell us.
Well, we do. Probably the most substantial so far has been Sand Dunes. It's a 75-unit complex at Markula. We've been fortunate to use that both as our test bench now that we've had almost coming up on 2 years of successful installation there. We've had a number of our new buildings that are coming on, Riverside, for example, Riverside Hotel down in the G20 precinct. We've been able to utilise that as a demonstration site and to show the range of opportunities and capabilities, whether it be video VoIP phones, whether it be upgraded and high-speed Foxtel, more effective Foxtel delivery, again that can potentially make managers an additional income stream, as well as our high-speed Wi-Fi. So it's really been a win-win for us in that site. We're currently rolling out a major project in Broadbeach as we speak. The rest of our technical team are there this morning. That's our most recent sale. It was interesting that as Bill talks about, our initial rollout is normally to the rental pool. In this case, it was 31 units. When the signs went up that this was going to be available, I believe another 8, 9, or perhaps I think it's up to 10 or 11.
It's like, why not? Yes.
Yeah, another 10 or 11 of the permanent residents and tenants took it up immediately. So you're seeing an uptake rate that's putting income stream into additional income stream for the resident manager very quickly, because it's simple and easy to do.
So we've had success stories with the ATM machines that we've installed. We've had success stories with lighting that we've installed. Mark's talked a moment ago about some of the broadband facilities we're introducing. We're doing surveys this week on 3 new buildings to change their lighting over as well. So our October, November and December rollout is, our order book is quite substantial. And we're very excited by that, and we're excited to be given the opportunity by the resident managers and the committees we work with.
It's an exciting time. Things are happening. But tell me, when you're talking about savings, hypothetically, let's talk about electricity. What sort of savings are they going to be taking advantage of?
Well, it depends on the rate in which they've got their bulk supply arrangements in place, or whether they're just buying straight from their retail distributor without.
And most of the complexes we come across are still, whatever was there is still there. So,
that's right.
For example,
so we're saving
in that case,
roughly on lighting, 50 to 60% savings on electricity on lighting.
That's a lot.
It's phenomenal. And the payback is almost immediate. And the other benefit that we bring is that we try and introduce a facility management arrangement where we can provide the financing for the communities at large as well. So in this way we can convert their instead of having straight out cost price and having sinking fund money being consumed, we can variabilise this and make it an admin budget item over the course of 20 to 30 months.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Obviously all you have to do is go to the finance people, so show the returns, and there's the money for that project.
Well, that's the theory, but it's always a little bit more complex than that. But we enjoy working with the people we work with.
I'm all about blue sky.
I guess the great thing, and we've heard so much feedback from very happy current clients, is that with the situation in the GFC over the last few years, the sinking fund has often had to have been drawn upon very heavily for maintenance and other critical issues, whether it be painting or repairs or roofing repairs, and there may be less than they're comfortable with in the sinking fund.
Yes.
So this allows them to immediately, in some cases, actually top that back up and provide a safety margin.
Without levies, yes.
Exactly, without increasing the levy. So it really is, as we've heard from committee chairs, from resident managers and from the body corporate managers, it's a win-win-win.
There's too much win-win-win. It almost sounds like an infomercial here.
Well, what we're trying to do,
it really does sound too good to be true.
Well, look, there's always considerations, but what we try to do with the resident managers is to create for them a unique income stream by passing to them to be the internet provider at site. So we provide the backbone and the facilities and the monitoring systems for them to be able to do so, and they can generate an income stream that they didn't have before. Very handy when you're trying to sell a business and there's multiples attached to that. So it's a recurring income stream.
But tell me, okay, some of the people that I deal with have been there for 6, 7, 8 years, and they're just tired. You know, there's not one more thing they want to do to improve their business. They just want to sell it as is, where is, somebody walk in and take it. To them, how difficult would it be to put this in place?
It's relatively easy, it really is. It's a matter of us, so we have a three-pronged approach. Our sales team, led by Mark, will go in and identify the customer and the customer needs. Then we'll bring our technical people in who'll qualify the site for the capacity that we can have. We can bring in terms of different technologies. So we can provide Wi-Fi, we can provide coax, we can provide fibre, we can provide copper. All sorts of ways in which we do deliver, and we have multiple technology solutions at individual sites. Mark talked before about shadowing of buildings, which could be topography issues, it could be high buildings, it could be mountains, it could be a whole range of services or factors, physical factors, that diminish the capacity of a building to receive a broadband network through traditional services. What we bring to buildings is a dedicated pipeline to that building. One point of source often, and then we can distribute that to individual lots, whether it's villas, high-rise, childcare or whatever it might be, so strata communities at large. It doesn't have to be strictly accommodation. And we distribute that into the individual rooms of the apartments, for say, and we can take up to 5, 6 or 10 iPads or Apple devices or smartphones, whatever it is, per lot, without denigrating the service to the next door unit.
That's quite a
So our services are what we call uncontended.
Quite unique.
It's a unique service. So it's a dedicated service for the site, for the facility, and it's not a public service as such.
Okay.
A friend of ours at Broadbeach, for example, they've got a Wi-Fi facility in their building of about 14, 15 units, and it's so-called free, but it works terribly, and so
it's frustrating.
The guests are unhappy. You know, if someone
That's
comes
one
in,
more tick against you in TripAdvisor.
and so if someone comes in with a couple of old laptops, or a larger family takes a couple of suites, all of a sudden the rest of the building gets knocked out. And so this allows them to eliminate that very simply.
Okay. Now for people who are afraid, it just sounds so good, too good. Costs?
Costs are very much dependent on the solutions that we would recommend for the building and for the size of the building and the complexity of the building.
Yes.
So what we do, we talk to, in the first case, to the building manager if it's a facility that the building manager would like to introduce, and or the committee, depending on the extent of the service that they'd like to take up. As I mentioned before, we've got financing solutions that will variabilise those sort of costs rather than having a fixed capital. But the solutions have got immediate payback. So yes, there's an outlay, but the reality is that there's also significant payback within 12 months in most cases.
So you've basically figured out a way to make it painless, to start people off on the right foot. And actually, it's not like most investments people put in with their sinking fund. There's no return. In this case, there is an investment which is actually financed, but in the end, you come out with a profit.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So there's a win-win for the building manager, there's a win-win obviously for the communities if we can save energy costs for them as well. So what we're seeking to do is to provide solutions right across the board, and the approach that we adopt is a very systematic approach. It's slow, it's methodical, but at the end of the day it's a solution that we will back and support for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the terms of the agreements we have with those communities.
Well, it really sounds like they're going to end up in love with you after this project. You're going to be the heroes.
That's very kind of you.
It's going to be fantastic to actually align yourselves with this company, because really they're out to protect you, to help you, to bring you to the next level. So whether you've been there for a long time or you're just starting out, really I do suggest you align yourself with this company and see what costs you can save. Bill, Mark, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much,
Christine, thank you very much.
Really
Pleasure to talk to you
appreciate
today.
Really appreciate it.